Nothing kills an automation faster than an error. Today, I'll show you how to bulletproof your n8n workflows and handle your errors gracefully. Even when APIs fail, inputs are messy, or services time out. In the last video, I built a workflow that pulled the latest weather data and logged it into Google Sheets. If you haven't seen that video yet, go watch it. It's the previous video in this playlist. So I've made two changes. The first one is I've added a schedule trigger now. So when I activate this will now run every 30 seconds. The reason that I've done that is because we can't trigger error handling workflows when we use manual triggers. So we need to set up the schedule trigger so we can execute the error handling workflow. The second change that I've made here is to the HTTP request. What I've done is I've removed the send query parameters. This is going to cause an error in our workflow because we're no longer telling the API which city we want the weather for. Next, what you'll want to do is create a new workflow. Click on the plus sign and search for the error trigger node. After that, click on the plus sign and search for Gmail. What we'll want to search for now is send a message. So the first step is to enter your own email address in the to input. For our subject, we're going to enter workflow failed and then add this json.workflow.name. This is the name of the workflow that we previously triggered the error from. Finally, let's go set the message that we're going to send in the email. And I'll take you through this in a bit more detail. So what we're doing here is we're using the word node and then we're naming the last executed node. We're going to state that it threw the error and provide the json.execution.error message. We'll also provide a description of the error and the URL of the last execution so that we can click on the email and access the workflow. And then lastly, we'll provide the stack trace. So this is just all the details contained in the error. So since this is an error handling workflow, we actually don't need to activate it, but we will go ahead and trigger it in our other workflow. So I'll go ahead and show you that now. But before we even get to that error email, n8n can try fixing itself. That's where retry logic comes in. This is super handy for any network blips, rate limits, or temporary API errors. Now, how should we handle retries? n8n is great because if you double click onto the node and you click on settings, you have this ability to retry on fail. So we'll toggle this on and then we'll turn the max tries to 3. What we'll do is also set the wait between tries to 1000 milliseconds. And then on the error, we'll stop the workflow. Okay, we're back. So what I want you to do is to go to the top right hand side and click on the 3 dots. Then click on settings. And then we'll see this option for the error workflow to notify when this one errors. Click on the no workflow and search for error handler. And then select that and click save. So now what's going to happen is when we run into an error in this workflow, it's going to trigger our error handler workflow and then send an email to my email address with all of the details that I've just entered. Okay, cool. Let's activate this workflow and then we'll just wait 30 seconds so that we can trigger the error. And you can see that I've gone to the error handler and I've clicked on executions and I can see here the last time that it's been executed. So let's click into it just to see what's happened. If you double click on the error trigger, you'll be able to see that all of the information has been passed through as a JSON. And then when we click into our send a message node, you'll see more details about the exact error. Let's scroll down and we'll be able to click on the preview button. On the right hand side, you'll be able to see the result. So we can see where all the merge fields have been populated and the actual output. But let's go and check my email. So here you go. Now you can actually see the email message that was sent to me along with all of the error details. When I click on the URL here, I'll be able to access the exact workflow where it's failed. If this was a real life example, I could then click on each of the nodes and actually debug it. Now my weather workflow just doesn't run on its own. It also watches itself and sends me. That's how you build automations that don't quit. In the next video, I'll show you how to connect n8n directly to databases. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe and follow me for more n8n tutorials.